Bonjour et bienvenue à James Fan French. Je m'appelle James. Hello and welcome to James Fan French. My name is James. As usual, we spell my name before we start the lesson. So let's spell James once again. J-A-M-E-S. What have you spelled? James. What have you spelled? James. Very good. You know, at James Fan French, we just learn with fun. So when I say James Fan French, you respond by saying just learn with fun. James Fan French?
Just learn with fun.
Just learn with fun. Very good. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to introduce ourselves in French. That is myself in French. Moi-même, myself. Yes. And we are going to ask ourselves some 6 key points which will enable us to write about ourselves in French. That is the first part. The second part will come. But we are going to learn how to ask what is your name in French? How old are you in French? Where do you come from in French? Where do you live in French? What is your profession in French? And what is your nationality in French? Someone is asking, hey, this one will be very difficult. You know, at James Fan French, we just learn with fun. So I promise you, you will learn it with ease. Okay, so let's look at the first question. How do you ask someone, what is your name in French? There are several ways of asking someone, what is your name in French? The first one is, comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Or, comment t'appelles-tu? Or, tu t'appelles comment? They all mean what? What is your name? So, comment tu t'appelles? Comment t'appelles-tu? Tu t'appelles comment? What is your name? Say it. Comment tu t'appelles? Comment t'appelles-tu? Tu t'appelles comment? What is your name? Okay, so we have learned 3 ways of asking someone, what is your name in French? And how are you going to respond to it? You respond by saying, je m'appelle, then you add your name to it. So, je m'appelle, then you add your name. So for me, for example, I am called James. So, je m'appelle James. So you will add your name. I'll ask you, comment tu t'appelles? Then you add your name. Comment tu t'appelles? Good. Je m'appelle. Very good. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is what? How old are you? How are you going to ask that question? It is asked in French as quel âge as-tu? Quel âge as-tu? The first one, most of my students, they say quel. It's not quel. It is quel, as in quel toothpaste. Quel. Okay, let me tell you a story about it so that you remember how to ask quel âge as-tu? How old are you in French? There was a football match. This football match, it was very tough. And one Ghanaian player known as Christian Achu, may his gentle soul rest in peace. They had a free kick and Christian Achu had to play that free kick. He stood by the ball and he curled the ball. But unfortunately, it hit his teammate's head. And the teammate was a white. He said, Ash, Achi, Ash, Achi. Instead of him to say Ash, Achu, because he's a white, he couldn't pronounce the Achu well. So he said, Ash, Achi. So how do you ask someone, how old are you? How are you going to ask it? Quel âge as-tu? Achu curled the ball. It hit his teammate's head. And he said, Ash, Achi. Quel âge as-tu? How are you going to respond to quel âge catchy. You respond by saying j'ai, then you add the years. J'ai, for example, if you are 30, j'ai 30, then you add what? Un. In French, you always have to bring the what? The un. You see some S at the end, you don't pronounce the S. Un means what? Yes. So, quel âge as-tu? J'ai 31. If you are 6 years too, j'ai 6 ans. If you have not watched my video on the numbers in French, please check it out because it will help you to answer this question correctly. I can't mention all the numbers, but if you check out my video, you'll be able to say it. Whatever age that you are, you'll be able to say it. So, j'ai, you add your the number, then you bring what? Un. So, j'ai 31. I am 30 years old. J'ai 10 ans. I am 10 years old. Let's go to the next question. The next question is, where do you come from? Where do you come from? And how are you going to ask this question in French? Is what? D'où viens-tu? D'où viens-tu? It means, where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? So when I say it, then you respond, d'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? Oh, d'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? Last one. D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? Okay? And how are you going to respond to d'où viens-tu? You respond by saying what? Je viens de. Then you add wherever you come from. For me, I come from Bremen Esikoma in the central region of Ghana. So I will say, je viens de Bremen Esikoma. Je viens de Bremen Esikoma. So you just bring je viens de. Then you add the town or city that you are coming from. If you are coming from Kumasi, je viens de Kumasi. If you are coming from Accra, note that the Accra is a vowel. So you not say je viens de Accra, but je viens de apostrophe, then Accra. So it will be what? Je viens d'Accra. Je viens d'Accra. If your city or town starts with what? A vowel, that means you bring D, you take away the E, you bring apostrophe, then you mention it. That is that. For example, if you also come from Ekumfi, Ekumfi is a vowel, the E. So, je viens d'Ekumfi, je viens d'Ekumfi. Good. Okay. What if you come from Paris in France? Je viens de Paris. Je viens de Paris. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, where do you live or where do you stay? How do you ask that question? It's asked in French as où habites-tu? Où habites-tu? So when I say où habites-tu, then you say, where do you live? Où habites-tu? 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 Where do you live? Okay, where do you stay? So how are you going to answer this question? You will answer by saying j'habite à, then you add the city or town that you live in. For example, I live in Takrady, Tadi, Tadi man. I'm from Bremen Sikuma, but I live in Tadi, specifically Efiekuma. So I will say j'habite à Takrady. So this is the correct. J'habite à Takrady. J'habite à Takrady. J'habite à Takrady. That means I stay at Takrady. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what is your profession? What is your profession? And that is how to ask that in French. Quelle est ta profession? Quelle est ta profession? Quelle est ta profession? What is your profession? And you answer by saying, je suis élève if you are a student. And I want to I've made a video on professions in French, and it's very fun. You will learn it with what? With ease. So if you are not a student and you are watching me, look through it and you'll be able to pick out your profession. So I am assuming I'm a student. So I'll say what? Je suis élève. Je suis élève. I'm a student. Or je suis étudiant if I'm a male. And je suis étudiante if you are what? A female. They all mean I am a student. Let's go to the last question. This, we are asking only 6 questions to guide you to write about yourself. The last question is, what is your nationality? What is your nationality? I am a Ghanaian. So how are you going to ask that question in French? Quelle est ta nationalité? Quelle est ta nationalité? It's not quelle nation. It's not nation. Nation, nationalité. Quelle est ta nationalité? And how are you going to respond? Je suis Ghanéen. Je suis Ghanéen if you are a Ghanaian. But if you are a Ghanaian and you are a female, you say what? Je suis Ghanaian. Je suis Ghanaian. Very good. What if you are coming from Nigeria? Je suis Nigeria. Je suis Nigeria. That is you are a male. But if you are a female, je suis Nigerian. Je suis Nigerian. What if you are from Togo? Je suis Togolais. That is if you're a male. But if you're a female, je suis Togolese. From China, je suis Chinois. Je suis Chinois. The list goes on and on. But let me answer this one too, because I'm teaching French. What if you are from France? How are you going to answer it? Je suis Français. I'm a French. Or if you're a girl, je suis Française. Yes, I will also make another video on the nationality. So you have to watch out. The video will be coming out very soon. But before I end the lesson over here, these questions that I've asked you, it should guide you to write about yourself in French. I'll put whatever I have taught you in a song form so that you will learn or you remember how to ask these questions in French. I'll be using my name, my years, where I come from, and where I stay. So listen to the song. Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle James. Quel âge as-tu? J'ai 30 ans. D'où viens-tu? Je viens de Bemeskouma. Où habites-tu? J'habite à Takrade. Quelle est ta profession? Je suis professeur. Quelle est ta nationalité? Je suis Ghanéen. Ah, je suis Ghanéen. Oh, je suis Ghanéen. Ah, je suis Ghanéen. Oh, comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle James. Quel âge as-tu? J'ai 30 ans. D'où viens-tu? Je viens de Bemeskouma. Où habites-tu? J'habite à Takoradi. Quelle est ta profession? Je suis professeur. Quelle est ta nationalité? Je suis Ghanéen. Ah, je suis Ghanéen. Oh, je suis Ghanéen. Ah, je suis Ghanéen. Oh, can you sing the song? Great. Go over and over the video, and I promise you, you'll be able to sing the song. We will end the lesson here. See you in the next video. Adema. Adema means see you tomorrow.